Hello, my name is Ryan Jump. I'm 35 years old and a former math and science teacher, current math tutor, and I have decided to make in depth videos on lessons that we can learn from movies. Now, I know I already have a podcast out there which you can access through anchor.com or through Spotify and other means, which you can find that podcast by looking up anchor.com and searching Jump On Movies. I'll try to put a link in the description of the video. And on those podcasts that I've already done for Anchor, I felt like I was trying to cram too much into one podcast, talking about the plot, lessons learned, funny quotes, weird bits of random humor thrown in there. And I just felt like I was just trying to do too much try to force too much into one little medium. So I've decided I'm going to continue doing those podcast reviews, but I'm going to not focus so much on the lessons learned. And with this video reviews through YouTube, I'm going to focus more on lessons we can learn from those movies. And the first movie review I'm going to look into for today is going to be on the first Rocky movie. Sit back and hope you enjoy the video. Have a great day. Now, okay, what does it mean to be a loser? Now, as an audience, you might think, wait, what? What does losers have to do with the Rocky movie? Let me explain. From what I can gather from various dictionaries online, to be a loser means to be unpopular, to not be in the in crowd, as they used to say. And that's not a bad thing, really. It is perfectly fine to not be accepted in cliques, which seem to divide people more than they unite people, in my opinion. But maybe that's a talk for another video. For right now, I want to take the time to tell a personal story to show that I myself felt like a loser until I hit my sophomore year of college. At the start of middle school, I was teased a lot at school since I was the new guy from Maryland who mistakenly blurted out that one of his new teachers was a janitor the first day of orientation, and who would shout out answers without raising his hand in school. One student even threatened to bring a gun from home and shoot me because he thought I was annoying. Teachers thought that I needed to be put on Ritalin or other drugs, that I had ADD or ADHD or something. All in all, things seemed rather bleak. But, long story short, my diet and sugar intake got a complete overhaul. I was given daily and weekly behavior checkups by the teachers, and my behavior eventually improved, and I learned to follow the rules of the classroom. However, I still was kind of a loser, with mostly acquaintances and not many friends except those from church. In the 7th and 8th grade, I decided I was going to do something to try to make friends. I wanted to be one of the popular kids. So I started calling myself the Jumpster and wanted others to call me that as well. Why did I think that this would help make friends for myself? I don't know. I guess I thought that kids would find me funny. I even made a theme song based off the Ghostbusters song and wrote a few pages of Jumpster rhymes. Now, the Jumpster rhyme kind of went like this. I created a short sentence where the last word would rhyme with the person's last name, so I'll use myself as an example. Ryan Jump lives in a dump. Get it? Jump and dump, they rhyme. Right. So, anyways, that was an example of some self-deprecating humor and an example of a Jumpster rhyme. And you know what? It kind of worked. trying to be popular and creating the theme song and everything. It was the first time in my life that I felt like I was not a loser anymore. The teasings almost came to a complete stop. I stood up for myself more, and school life was generally more enjoyable. I still did not hang out with kids my age much. Okay, so whether kids were older or younger, I still did not hang out with kids. It didn't matter their age. But I felt like I was almost one of the popular kids, at least when I was at school. Later, however, when I was in ninth grade at Kirkwood High, I got totally disillusioned with trying so hard to make friends. I was tired of trying to make others laugh and like me. At the end of the school year, I knew that I was going to be homeschooled the last 3 years of high school, so I didn't even sign anyone's yearbook. I might have not been teased, but I was back to being a total loser again. I learned from this experience over the years that the end results weren't worth the trouble I went through to try to be one of those popular kids. And it seemed that half of those popular kids were selfish jerks anyway. It all worked out in the end, I guess, because I made a couple of friends at a homeschool co-op in 10th grade, and then in college I finally felt I had found a place where I belonged. I found truly great friends, many of whom I still have today. What's more, I had finally shed that loser designation, and I didn't have to pretend to be the funny guy to try to do that. I just learned that being myself and showing kindness to others was all I needed in the end. Okay, so why the long personal story about my life? Well, in Rocky, Paulie comments that his sister Adrian is a loser and tries to say that Rocky should have nothing to do with her. Now, Paulie is Rocky's best friend. But Rocky is not deterred from this. He doesn't think that she is a loser, just a little shy. And even if he did think she was kind of a loser, he knows that there is nothing wrong in being a loser. Because, in a sense, he is a loser too. Or as Rocky likes to say of Adrian and him,
I think we make a real sharp couple of coconuts. I'm dumb and you're shy. What do you think, huh?
in this movie, there is another scene where a drunk Paulie yells at Adrian, saying it's Adrian's fault that Paulie is not married yet, and that he put Rocky and her together. And Adrian, in a moment of bravery, fights back, saying,
I take care of you, Paulie. I don't owe you nothing. And you made me feel like a loser. I'm not a loser.
this is a great lesson for us to digest. First off, don't blame others for things that are your own fault. Take accountability for your own actions. Don't say that your own misfortunes are the result of someone else's actions and not your own. Secondly, if you are being blamed for everything under the sun that is not true, don't take it like a man or take it like a woman and soak it up and do nothing so that you will be verbally or emotionally abused forever. Instead, stand up for yourself and fight back. It might not be fun, and it might even be a little bit scary, but you will feel worse if you don't over time. I won't get into it here in this video, but I will just say that I speak from personal experience. To paraphrase one of my favorite movies, look at this scene.
I'll take you up to the police.
Hey, wait, you swore.
Trust me.
Yeah, the video quality is a little shoddy, but I think you get the point. There is also a saying that is attributed to a well-known nun from the 20th century, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, which I want to mention here. She said, "If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway." How does this relate to Rocky? Well, there's a scene where Rocky is trying to steer a teenage girl named Marie from the bad crowd. but it is thrown back into Rocky's face.
Hey, Rocky.
Yo,
Screw you, creepo.
We later see what happens to Marie and Rocky Balboa, aka Rocky 6, and see whether Rocky's advice had any merits. But the point is, we might not be able to see the after effects of doing the right thing. Nonetheless, we know we can die with a good conscience for doing good rather than feeling regret and guilt for not doing what we knew we should have done. Unless you're told not to help that person again, feel fine with yourself in trying to help your fellow man always. In closing, like Rocky, Adrian, and Mother Teresa of Calcutta, let us learn to never give up trying to do the right thing and not be worried about being called a loser or if you're not one of the popular kids. In the final analysis, it was never between you and them anyway. Thank you for listening to this video, watching this video, and be on the lookout for more in the future. Have a great day.